This is Pro Football 360. We're with you Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Kevin Cork. Always great to have our NFL insiders, Pete Prisco and Will Brinson, on the program. We're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens, who, for lack of a better description, Pete Prisco, looked awful on Sunday. Your take on the Ravens, are they as bad as you've seen for a while?
Well, and I was at that game, and I went in the locker room and talked to the Texans and Ravens, and here's the deal. The Ravens no longer scare you. You know, it used to be there was always that big, bad, nasty, angry, violent team that when you got off the bus, you knew you were going to spend the next week in the hot tub recovering from what they do. Well, I'll tell you what, they're not that way anymore. They don't scare anybody. They're soft on defense. They're old on defense. Ed Reed actually made a really good tackle yesterday, and I thought they were going to stop the game and give him a game ball because he actually tackled somebody. I mean, they're not very good on defense. They have some Nada's hurting, Reed's hurting, Lewis is out, Webb is out. They're not very good. And you know what? I don't see them getting any better. So now it becomes, can they put it all on Joe Flacco? Is he that kind of quarterback? And yesterday against the Texans, he wasn't.
Will?
Yeah, look, I mean, the Ravens are in a lot of trouble, and we've seen Joe Flacco over the years often as either good Joe Flacco or bad Joe Flacco. And he wasn't good Joe Flacco. He's not very often good Joe Flacco on the road. He's significantly better when he's at home. So you start to wonder whether or not that he can be the guy that can take them to a Super Bowl. And look, they've got the bye coming up in Week 8. They get the Raiders and the Browns in Weeks 9 and 10. Those aren't cakewalks. The Browns is on the road. That's a classic trap game if I've ever seen one. But you start to look at how many wins can they get to? How many wins do they need to get for home field advantage? It's probably 11 or 12 at least. And while that's doable, you wonder whether or not they can, win enough games down the stretch without any semblance of a defense. And with Joe Flacco needing to elevate his game, they need the offensive line to step up and play better, protect him better. Yeah. And Cam Cameron needs to give the ball to Ray Rice. I mean, this is when you lean on your running back, allow him to establish a running game and set up Joe Flacco for success.
Very quickly, guys, Terrell Suggs is back on the field. Your thought, Pete Prisco, then to you, Will Brinson, very quickly. Your impressions of T. Sizzle's first game back.
Pretty amazing. I'll be honest with you. I talked to some Ravens people before the game, and they were amazed that he got back as quickly as he did, and then he got a sack. I still think there's some rust there, and he's very heavy. He looks like he looks small, bigger than Haloti Ngata when he celebrated his sack, by the way. So he needs to get in shape, but pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, outstanding. Look, I mean, to come back that quickly from an Achilles injury and to be able to do, to make plays when you're losing the explosiveness that you get from it, from that injury. A phenomenal job by Terrell Suggs to get back. I think it's really impressive how we're seeing really much quicker recuperation times these days. Adrian Peterson's back, Jamal Charles is back, Suggs is back from these injuries. It's fascinating. Rashard Mendenhall. Fascinating how technology and science and athletes' health and the shape they're in have allowed people to get back on the field quickly. But you talk about the guys who do get back quickly, and you notice that they are physical freaks and really talented athletes like Suggs and Peterson.